to order. If you would, silence your cell phones during the course of our meeting. We'd appreciate that. If you wish to address the board tonight, during citizens communication card, they're on the ledge. If you would fill one of those out, get it to Jenny. She can get that to me so we can make sure you're recognized. We'll have a record of you speaking tonight. Having said that, we'll have the roll call.
Director Jewell.
Here.
Director Smith.
Here.
Director Roberts.
Here.
Assistant Mayor Harris.
Here.
Director Hollibush.
Here.
Director Brewer.
Here.
Mayor Brown.
Here. At this time, we'll stand for our invocation and our Pledge of Allegiance given by Director Stephen Hollibush.
We'll pray with you. Lord, thank you for this wonderful day that you bless us with. God, thank you for the opportunity to live in a free society where we can just be free and make our own decisions. Lord, I pray that you would be with us tonight as we make decisions on behalf of our citizens, that you would give us wisdom and guidance. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. At this time, we'll move right on into our citizens communication time. First card I have, David Peavy. Are you here? Where is it? Oh, there you go.
Hello, all the directors. Just going to try to go real fast through this. If I make it in time, I'll leave and y'all can vote in peace, but I'll try to go through this. I do want to say that I support the chief and all of our police officers. I do not want there to be a shot fired by our citizens or our officers. This is concerning the entertainment district, which is be up for vote later on today. If we all took this meeting and we all decided to go down to the Arkansas Viaduct and we all stood in the middle of the street down there and we had our meeting or whatever, and someone comes up and says, "Hey, y'all shouldn't be here. Y'all, this is endangering." So they'll say, "Well, we'll put some car stops up here, and they'll stop the traffic, and then go around you." And then later, well, the car stops here, so we'll just block the whole viaduct off. Well, you might say, "Well, that's ridiculous." So now we're coming to this is not the entertainment district over there. So let's say we take it right outside here, right out front, and we have our meeting. Everybody here walks out in the street, and we all have our meeting right there, out there in the street. So we put some car stops up, and we slow this traffic down, and then we just block the whole street off. And then maybe those firemen decide we need to go down that street. And what happens to Zapatas? They say, "Hey, y'all are cutting into our business. Y'all need to move on." That's similar to what we have down there, where we have a problem with people standing in the street. It doesn't have anything to do with the entertainment district. They're blocking the city street. The city needs to be open, and we all agree with that. I've walked through that area, a block that direction, right over there, at 1:30 in the morning. And of course I had slacks on and a jacket, and it was kind of scary a little bit, kind of like leaving a Razorback game these days. But I think they thought I was a narc or something, so they were all being very yes sir to me as I walked through. But anyway, that is not what we need in the entertainment district, I agree. But the ordinance that's before you doesn't stop that. The ordinance before you says that they can still be right out in front of a business. They can still be covering up that street. So what should we do? Well, it's possible that we should park a patrol car out there in the middle of that turning lane and turn the lights on. That would be a push the other direction. Possibly we could see the first gathering of people and ask them to move on or go inside one of the businesses. Because when it becomes 400 people out there, that's when the mass of people give strength to each other, and bad things can happen. And that's what the chief is worried about, is that mass of people where common sense may leave one person when it comes to a whole group. So I would like to request that we possibly look into how we can solve the problem without just putting some speed bumps down and say, okay, that didn't work, let's just close the street off, which created the whole party atmosphere, because now you've created a street where they can just congregate. So there's more to it, and it's more difficult than, if we pass this, you still have people that they still are not in violation of anything by standing in the street. But the law says you can't just block a city street, just as we couldn't go out, take our meeting out there in front of the street. So what I would request is that we not say this is a great emergency, that we look into this a little bit further and see how we can all be helped by this. This is not a hurricane coming toward Texarkana. That is an emergency. This is not an emergency. It's been going on for quite some time, and it does need to be resolved. I'm not saying that in any way. How am I doing? Oh, 22 seconds. I'm really, I do believe that this can be solved in a good way, but I do not believe saying at 10 o'clock at night, okay, it's over. I think it could go a little bit longer. There's something in between that we could be doing. Thank y'all for your time. Any questions? Blah, blah, blah.
Anyone else? Anyone else wish to address the board? Anyone? Yes, sir. Yes.
Hi, my name's William Nielsen. I've lived downtown for like 7 years. I work at Eagle Bourbon Bar. I think that y'all should vote no to the changes to the entertainment district, the 28-82, because the language is too ambiguous about where the front vicinity of a business is. There's a lot. I feel like that leads a lot to interpretation, and so that could lead to like a quagmire, and it would be like a big waste of time. I really like the change where there's no outside liquor to the district, and I think that that's an important step that needs to be visited. But I would say vote no to this change, because that part is good, but the other part is too ambiguous. And the part where it says that the budget is $0, I don't agree with that. I think that's a little bit reckless for budgeting for like a commission that's supposed to be about planning. It's like, how is it going to be $0? It's going to cost, like, police people don't work for free. You know what I mean? Like, so it's going to cost money to enforce that change. It's also going to cost money because it's going to have a chilling effect on the businesses. I think that maybe like Mr. Peavy was suggesting, like a more proactive approach to keeping people who are only there to maybe cause a problem out of the district. Because I know when I was in my 20s, if I thought I could come down somewhere and wreck shop, I probably might participate in that. But if I knew that when I went down there, somebody was going to immediately ask me for my ID or make sure that I participated in one of the businesses downtown or ask me to move along, that I would know that that was the expectation. And that's how we'd move forward. So I would just ask y'all to respectfully maybe vote no on this one so that it can be revisited at a future time with more specific language and a budget that's more appropriate. I would like to yield the rest of my time. Thank y'all so much.
What was your name again, sir?
It's William Nielsen, Nielsen.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
You'll have an opportunity to speak again when we consider the ordinance if it goes to a third reading.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that.
Anyone else? Anyone else wish? Yes, sir.
I just kind of want to touch on a little bit of what he was saying as well. I do feel like there's some conjecture and the lines aren't as clear as they need to be at this time. Also, where do you draw the line at loitering? No one's given a clear indication on where that statute is, and it's a very difficult one. I don't know if, a judge would be the one to talk to on that matter. especially since he would be the one ruling on that at the end of the day to, show whether they were or they weren't. I kind of brought it up in the workshop last week. It was simply a question like, maybe someone just pulls up downtown. Their expectation is to go inside one of these establishments, right? But maybe they've had a trifling day. Maybe their father passed, and they're just wanting 20 minutes alone in the car to read a text message that they haven't had a chance to, and they're just wanting a little time, and then they were still planning on going in. There's a lot of in-betweens there. And I could see that, there's a possibility of it, going this way or that way. And I just kind of would like a little more clear indication. The other one that we kind of talked about last time, and it was brought up today as well, and Tyler even gave me a call on it because, I don't have much store frontage, at the end of the day compared to like Cross Ties or the Hideout. I'm all for, working on this, but one of the rules trying to go in place is putting barriers out in front. And I do understand the reasons as to why, but I have Hearts on Broad to the left, and then I have George that owns everything to the right. Granted, neither one of them would probably have a real issue with it at the end of the day, since Hearts on Broad closes at 5, and then George and I get along very well, and GQ Look, it's on down the way just a little bit further. But is that legal for me to extend past my property lines with that? I mean, I don't know where that is. I know we're able to roam around and do what we kind of want to at this point, but is that going to be a problem if they're not just really directly behind the barrier? I know that it can be said here and now that like, well, we're not really worried about this or worried about that, but if everybody's not on the same page, and then a few weeks go by, and then I've got a few people that are a part of my establishment or a part of an event, or maybe they have a wristband, but maybe we have a new officer downtown that night that doesn't normally work overtime on the weekends, and they see someone just kind of hanging out outside the railing, or maybe they walked over here. There's just a lot of in-betweens right now. And I'm not against putting something in place. I do feel like there are some issues that need to be handled and resolved, but maybe we need to go back to the think tank just a little bit more before we make an executive decision on everything. I mean, I'm definitely open up to sit down and throw some more things at the wall to see if they stick. But I had to put out a lot of figurative fires the day after that workshop. I probably answered 20 to 30 phone calls personally and that many text messages, just based on some footage that was shared during that event. So I can definitely tell the word has spread. Like I said, a lot of figurative fire, so a lot of people are like, well, I heard this in the meeting, I heard this. So no one's really clear as to what's needing to take place. I did bring up the issue last time, if funding is an issue, if manpower is an issue. This young man kind of reiterated that if we're going to put forth a new policy, that means it has to be enforced. It's going to have manpower and money behind it. And if we're low on money and manpower, that might be something that needs to be looked at after the New Year's budget and kind of enforce it then. I don't know. This is kind of a bad time of the year to put a policy in place when we have so many fall events going on, and then people see that kind of, conjecture online, and then they're like, well, maybe we don't need to go downtown. I had many people who were like, we don't even want to come downtown for Halloween because we're afraid if we walk from the Banana Club over to Hopkins or the Wild Hare, we're likely to get a ticket because no one really knows what's taking place. And so there's just a lot of in-between that needs to be lined out, and I would definitely be for another workshop if there was one.
What was your name again?
Cody Barling, I own the Wild Hare.
I've only gotten 2 phone calls, and the calls I got were safety concerns,
Mhm.
not about tickets or anything.
Yeah.
I haven't heard you address anything about that area of safety. What's your feel on safety of the
I'm all
residents?
for safety at the end of the day. Last night we wanted someone to get injured because, I mean, all the work we put into something, last time we wanted is to be destroyed over one, incident at the end of the day. Of course, the public that is reaching out to me, they're not looking at the safety factor. They're more looking at like, well, our fun factor is gone. But we look at all sides. Like I said, last time we wanted is anyone to get injured or hurt. or far worse. So, I don't know what necessarily needs to be implemented, but I just don't know if that's the right course of action.
Like I told the other gentleman, you'll have a chance if we go to a third reading to speak.
Right. And I'm all behind the department and trying to help them out, and I want to make sure that they're safe as well, and they can go home to their families as well, so. But that's about all I have to say on that, so. Y'all got any questions for me or anything? Thank you.
Director Harris?
I don't know, should I wait now or say it at the thing, but I did attend that workshop, Mayor, that night and to the board. And, I did ask them that they basically wanted, to meet with, and have, and go before the planning commission, themselves. I went to each one of them in the order and asked them that question. They said yes, but eventually it kind of turned, because basically that workshop really was for the police to bring forth the issue. They weren't able to sit down in front of even though they was asking questions about the issue, but I did ask them that they wanted to, from the cross-tied him, he can say if I'm not saying anything not true. I asked the guy from, what's that, Hopkins and all that they want to meet before the planning commission themselves and let them speak and put in some issues or idea of what they wanted to have. At first, each one of them did say yes, but as things progressed, it kind of
Fizzled.
it filtered down, yeah. It just went down, so I assume they was okay with what was presented. And I also requested that at least to 11 o'clock, but that didn't go nowhere. I stood up in the audience request, when I stood up, I raised my hand and asked them could they extend it to 11 o'clock, and that didn't go nowhere. And that's basically about I can understand what they're saying, but it kind of seems like there's a different group on. And then I did put the meeting on Facebook. So far, it had, last I looked at it, it had 26.6K views of it. So somebody around Texarkana have viewed that, and I don't know, because I recorded it live and put it on that, so I don't know, but, and I did, some people called me, but some other issues, they stated some other issues, but, and maybe I got one or two about the time, but other than that, but I speak more about the lottery issue, because I would like to ask the city attorney, from what I interpreted from the law about the lottery, and that's basically it.
Anything else? All right.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was kind of wanted to know where we were on the FEMA. I had no updates and nothing, and then also about the brush that's on the side, it's still there, it's been there months, and I just don't understand that. And then the lots over there, not one lot has been touched with a tractor, and I know somebody can get on a tractor, I got one, but I can't cut them all, and I know somebody can get on a tractor and cut those lots. I mean, people got these lots, they buying this land from out of town, and then they're not keeping the lots up, and then it makes everything look bad. I mean, they just own it. Nobody's holding them accountable to taking care of those lots. And that brush, I don't think that brush would sit on the north side of town that long. It's been months now. It's sitting right by my house. It's a mess over there.
I have no control over SWEPCO whatsoever. There's nothing that I have sent it to them multiple times now, and I don't know what else to do. I've made calls to higher ups over there, and if it's still not up, I'll keep making those calls.
What about our city with the thing they can, with that truck in our city? Our city do it? I mean, it's our city. I mean, it's a right of way.
I will look into see if we're able to do it.
That, and I hadn't heard anything else about the FEMA, nothing, zero, about this FEMA stuff, about that creek, behind my house and that, my building. and it's gonna get into the rainy season and, winter, and, just hadn't heard anything.
One thing about FEMA is they're going to move extremely slow. So we don't know anymore at the moment. We still haven't received all of our funding. So I'll have to get back with you on that. I don't know. They're not going to give you a projection either of when you're going to get it. So that's the difficult part of working with FEMA. It's extremely slow.
Okay, so I see they kind of come out and threw some dirt in those sinkholes, threw some tar over, but it's already getting another hole in it, but, those lots though, seem like they can be cut, I mean, it's all over on Lincoln, East Side Drive, I mean, it's just, lots are just way up. You can't get nobody out there to cut those lots?
I'll give you a shout with an update.
Okay, you call my phone, you'll call me.
I got you.
Hey, Tyler, if you want, I could try some of the contacts I have on the limbs. I might be able to help out on the limbs.
I've
get it
gone
on
to
tree.
the top SWEPCO employee around here. So I don't know. I'll contact her again. But I mean, yeah, by all means,
Yeah,
whoever.
I'll give it a try. What's your name and number again?
Sean Taylor. It just looks bad. I mean, it's our city. I mean,
What's your phone number, Mr. Taylor?
903-244-7511.
Thanks, Mr. Taylor. I'll be in touch.
All right.
Anyone else? Yes, sir.
My name is Jesse Darby Tillis II. I have thrown several events with cross ties in front of cross ties downtown, blocking off the street and not blocking off the street. I feel with the entertainment district, there should be a step-by-step plan. Because right now, all I see is a lot of good things. Cross ties, wild hair, hideout, they're bringing people downtown. People are walking around. And with me, when I've had my events, put a wrestling ring right in the middle of the road, 2 years in a row, no fights. No issues at all. And I feel for the city, because with the video Laney Harris posted out, it has made a lot of people lose trust in the city. And I feel a step-by-step plan of when these things happen, we'll grow from here. Instead of feeling like going from 2 a.m. to 10 p.m. is taking a step back, especially when it's very unclear on these rules. Because me, as an event planner that throws on a variety of different events, we want this to grow, as I assume all you also wanted it to grow. And I feel with, like this past weekend, nothing but great events. Great events at Hideout, great events at Cross Ties, great events, Wild Hair, Hopkins. So I don't feel per se it's a crowding of people. It may be like we're lacking people for the force. We're lacking money to enforce it. We're lacking people to create a cleanup program. So I would love to see from the city a step-by-step and ways to go about fixing these variety of issues, because everybody seems to have different viewpoints on what is the issue and what is going on. And it goes week to week. But I can say for my events, having people crowded around a wrestling ring, being drunk or not drunk, there was no issues. That was my view.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone else? If not, we'll move on to our presentations tonight. We have some service awards tonight. What am I gonna do with them? We have 3 employees. I don't know what I did with them now. Did you take them back? Oh. Well, that's why I can't find them. So I'll let Tyler, you can just keep them over there. I don't think any of them are present,
No.
are they?
No, sir.
All right, so just if you want to, Jenny, just read their names and their years and where they're at.
Kevin Dildine is 25 years of service for the Arkansas Fire Department. Justin Beck is 25 years for the Texarkana, Arkansas Fire Department. And Rodney Watkins is 25 years for Texarkana, Arkansas Fire Department.
Give them a round of applause. We'll move into our consent agenda. We have items 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 on our consent agenda. I have a couple of questions. I'm going to pull off number 6 for Paul. So we have items number 2, 3, 4, and 5. Item number 2 is approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of October the 20th. Item number 3 is to adopt a resolution authorizing city manager to enter into agreement with Southwest Arkansas Telephone Cooperative for the city's primary internet service provider for underground fiber. Item number 4 is to adopt a resolution authorizing the airport director to swap a parcel of land with Miller County. And item number 5 is to adopt a resolution authorizing the Texarkana Regional Airport Director to enter into a 15-year firm, 17-year non-firm lease with the Transportation Safety Administration. What would be the desire of the board for item 2, 3, 4, and 5?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second for the consent agenda. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? And the consent agenda passes. Item number 6, Paul. So item number 6 is to adopt a resolution authorizing the airport director to enter into an agreement with McClellan Engineering for passenger facility charge administration. And my question is when I read that, I was a little bit confused with the resolution from the standpoint of, I understand and I knew what the passenger facility charge was, and then that money has to be spent on FAA-approved expenditures, the
That's
money
correct.
that comes in. And then it says the consulting engineers will provide these services for an amount not to exceed 50 grand, but it says that services they'll provide include identification of potential projects that can utilize the revenue. So we're paying them 50 grand to figure out what an FAA project qualifications are?
No, so we have to put together what is called a PFC application. So PFCs are passenger facility charges. Every individual who flies on one of our flights outbound, we get $4.50 from them. So that's why we track our enplanement numbers. If they're flying back and we're the second leg, so if they're just flying from Dallas here, we will also get $4.50 from that. Those projects have to be approved by the airline. The airline has to, they actually collect those funds for us. And then the FAA also has to sign off on all of those projects. So what we'll do is we will identify a list of projects. We've been putting together a potential
You have
list.
to do that with them. You can't do that.
That's correct.
I mean, to me, quite frankly, to me, it looked like we were wasting 50 grand to try to figure out what a FAA, I would think you would know what an FAA-approved project would be.
Yeah, so we go through a process that they're actually going to get all of the engineering costs together. We present that to the airlines. Then once they approve it, we then will send it to the FAA. It has to go for public comment. And then once that's done, we begin collecting those funds, which will then be able to spend on only those projects that are approved in the application. So they are charging $50,000 for the administration of this grants for those years and preparing the application, but they will be paid for out of the collected PFCs.
I saw that. Any other questions?
So does the airport have to sign off on this in the sense that it has to benefit them in some way?
Yes, so the projects, usually what we talk about being AIP eligible, they have to be eligible from the FAA standpoint for these projects. They have to further benefit directly the airline passengers, since they're the ones who are essentially paying for these projects. And so once we've collected the projects, the board will have a vote on it. We will bring that to both cities prior to sending that to the FAA for the final approval. So this board will have an opportunity to vote on those projects as well.
So what would happen if we got a second airline in? Would they have equal say?
So that's where you start to get into kind of a little bit further. Yes, all of the airlines have say. You don't necessarily have equal say if you are not like flying as frequently. So where we have the 2 flights a day with American Airlines, and if you're only flying once a week, you don't have quite the same.
Any other questions? If not, I'd instruct the city attorney to read the resolution.
Whereas the Texarkana Regional Airport is requesting authority for its executive director to enter into an agreement with McClellan Consulting Engineers Incorporated for engineering services for passenger facility charge administration services. And whereas a PFC is a fee added to airline tickets that airports are authorized to collect from passengers, and that fee goes directly to the airport. And whereas PFC revenue can only be used for FAA-approved purchases, and the services that McClellan will provide include identification of potential projects that can utilize this revenue. And whereas McClellan Consulting Engineers Incorporated will provide these services for an amount not to exceed $50,000, which will be paid from the PFC application. Now therefore be it resolved by the City of Texarkana, Arkansas, that the Airport Executive Director is authorized to enter into an agreement with McClellan Consulting Engineers Incorporated for the purposes and in the amount set forth above, pass and approve this third day of November 2025.
City attorney's read the resolution. What be the desire of the board?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Director Jewell,
Yes.
Director Smith,
Yes.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Director Hollibush,
Yes.
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes, and the resolution passes. We'll move into our regular agenda. Item number 7 is to adopt a resolution authorizing the airport director capital improvement plan. Paul?
So every year, we have to submit a capital improvement plan to the FAA as a rolling 5-year plan. It is required that projects be on there to be able to be eligible for federal funds. For us, the projects have been the lengthening and strengthening of the runway. These are projects that have been previously approved by the board in the last 3 fiscal years. The only major change was that it had been our intent to pursue a revenue bond for the building of the maintenance repair overhaul facility. At this point, it appears that they are going to fund that themselves, and so we have removed that $36 million from the 5-year capital plan.
In the 2026, what is the JD facility construction? What is that?
So it should be demolition. So as part of this land swap,
That's the
we're getting the
JDC?
juvenile
We're having
detention
to pay to
center.
tear that thing down. There's not an FAA grant or nothing available to tear it down?
Oh, and that's where we are going to use a grant from the Arkansas Division of Aeronautics as a 50% grant for that.
Because we would have took it in eminent domain anyway, eventually, would we not?
Well, it's owned by the county, and so that would have been the challenge there.
So that should be the JDC, so that's the
Yes, sir.
cost of doing it. Anybody have any questions for Paul? If not, I'd instruct the city attorney to read the resolution.
Whereas the Federal Aviation Administration requires Texarkana Regional Airport to submit a 5-year capital improvement plan in order to provide the airport federal grant funds for projects. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Directors of the City of Texarkana, Arkansas, that the fiscal year 2026 to 2031 5-year capital improvement plan attached hereto and made a part hereof is hereby accepted. Pass and approve this third day of November 2025.
City attorney's read the resolution, desire of the board.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Director Jewell,
Yes.
Director Smith,
Yes.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Director Hollibush,
Yes.
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes, and the resolution passes. Item number 8 is the third reading of the ordinance enacting the new code for the city of Texarkana, Arkansas. Also, an emergency clause has been requested. Howard?
Okay, so this, if you remember, we had a workshop on this. It was brought to you originally. It's gone through the first 2 readings, and it's on the third reading now. By now, I believe you've all had a chance to go through all the changes that are in there. Do you have any questions on any of the changes for me? Yes, sir.
I haven't went through it yet, all the changes. And from your last statement, you made the statement, said that until you get an okay from all the board, it wasn't gonna come back up before this board.
From the one board member that has reached out to me that had any issues with it, I did check with them. I've not received another question or issue with it. I believe that was to address any questions that there may be.
So I guess you changing the criteria now for this to come back up for, I know that you basically said that, so, but I guess you can continue doing it when you know you got 6 votes, so you ain't got to worry about one board no more.
Any other questions? This is the third reading. What would be the desire of the board to have the ordinance read on its third and final reading?
Third reading, abbreviated form.
Second.
So have a motion and a second to have the ordinance read on its third and final reading in abbreviated form. Any other discussion?
And, Mayor, the other issue I would have with this is you doing a lot of rate increases, and I think some of them should have came out separate, and then you should have let the public know, because if you really think about what had happened, if it wouldn't been 5 board members, at that board meeting when this came forward, and one board member such as myself said no, and you wouldn't have that 2/3, we never knew about all the rate increase and all the changes in this, because how it was presented to us, it wasn't prevented to this board I would think in a fair process, because we didn't find out what was actually being doing. From my understanding, she just said that some changes was gonna be done to some ordinance in here, but didn't say it. And you got rate increases and everything else going on with this.
I have a question. Are the rate increases going to be implemented, or are they currently being implemented already and it's just being
They
reflected
gonna
in the vote?
From my understanding, you can talk to the planner out there, they gonna be implemented once we vote on this.
Is that accurate?
Some are already being implemented.
Okay.
They just needed to be updated in the code. Some are some new fees. Y'all will be approving the entire fee schedule when y'all approve the budget. So every year when we bring the budget to the board, you approve the fee schedule at that time. All of these fees will be on that fee schedule.
We have a motion and a second for a third reading. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Director Jewell,
Yes.
Director Smith,
Yes.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris,
No.
Director Hollebush,
Yes.
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
An ordinance adopting and enacting a new code for the city of Texarkana, Arkansas, providing for the repeal of certain ordinances not included therein, providing a penalty for the violation thereof, providing for the manner of amending such code, for declaring an emergency, and providing when such code in this ordinance shall become effective.
The ordinance has been read on its third and final reading. A motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adopt. Prior to the board voting to adopt this particular ordinance, is there anyone here wishing to speak for or against?
Mayor, I'd like to say, I had a problem with the fees, the way that we're implementing some of the fees. There was, as Director Harris has indicated, we're imposing some fees that were not discussed before this board, and I don't think that's quite fair. And some of those fees I would have very much liked to have discussed before the whole board. And I don't know how far in the future we will be doing this, whatever we're doing with this codifying or whatever we're doing here. But I hope next time we will do it, implement it in stages instead of all at once in a very short time frame. So I have problems with what we're doing, but so I hope next time around we will do it better.
Yes, sir, and I completely understand that, and although I don't believe there's going to be a next time for decades, but This hasn't been done since 1983.
83.
So, and this has been a very long process. This process started 4 city managers ago. It started when Dr. Haskin was here. This has been, 6 years in the making. So yes, I agree. I would rather do it differently next time. And you've got my word, so long as I'm here, I will certainly do it differently. I apologize that wasn't split out like you talked about.
Any other discussion? If not, could you call the roll?
Director Jewell,
No.
Director Smith,
Yes.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris,
No.
Director Hollibush,
Yes.
Director Brewer.
No.
Mayor Brown.
Yes. The ordinance is not adopted. Moving right along to item number 9, which is to adopt the ordinance to amend, yes?
It's adopted. 4-3.
5, isn't it?
4-3.
4-3.
It was 4-3? I missed one.
Yep.
I apologize. It'll take 5 for the emergency clause. All right, so the ordinance, I apologize, the ordinance does pass. At this time, the city has asked for an emergency clause, the desire of the board.
Motion to attach emergency clause.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Mayor,
Yes.
even though the public didn't get a chance to see what's going on, I do think you need to delay this emergency clause and at least maybe put out on the city website as to what is going to be impacting the public without them a chance to see prior to this. And I do say that, talking about what the city manager said, that it's been going since, 3 city managers ago, you could have did, like I said, this in stages now, but apparently, that's neither here or there now, but that's what he could have did, but,
Mr. Mayor, I rise to point of order.
Sure.
The municipal league requires public to be able to speak for any vote of the council, not just the final vote, but any vote. And this is any vote that would take it. So
What, pardon me? I'm not following you.
to make an emergency clause vote, you should have let public speak. So I'm saying, the municipal league.
I'm not aware of that. I mean, this is my 7th year, and I don't think
It
we've,
says any vote. So this is any vote.
Josh?
I don't think it's all votes.
Why did
And-
they use the word any?
Well, I don't know what you're referring to.
In the municipal league, when it talks about this subject, with the set council votes, it says the public is allowed to speak before any vote.
Like the mayor, I'm not aware of that.
I'm not aware of that either. I'm not done it. But let me just clarify something, Jamie, while we're on this subject, just for Heather's purposes and this municipal code, that 90% of this code is outdated for even the citizens to look up. So when the citizens pull up certain ordinances, you were looking at ordinances back in the 80s. It's never been updated. So the Muni Code has been after us to get all of these ordinances updated as we have passed them since 1983. And so when you go pull up an ordinance now online, it may not even be the correct ordinance. The second thing is, as far as the adjustment of fees, it has been so long that every municipality pretty much, Jamie, if I'm wrong, tell me, had increased their fees. Our fees were not as much as theirs. And when we research these fees that we are raising in these particular ordinances, they were comparable to what the Texas side charges. They're comparable to what other cities charges. We didn't just pull a rabbit out of the hat and say, we're going to charge this particular fee.
No, and actually, with respect to planning, I think we had 4 fee adjustments in there, and only 1 was an increase. The other 3 were a decrease. Because
So
of the amount of work
this is
we-
not something that we're ripping citizens or people off. We're actually bettering citizens to get updated. Since we've been after this for the last 5 years that I've been mayor, they've been begging us to get this updated online, because when people contact them and they're looking for a specific ordinance, our ordinance may be 1990. This is all this is a clarification and an updated to the Muni Code to get this to actually what we've passed now.
I'm not speaking against that in any way.
I understand.
What I'm speaking against is the rules of order that the municipal.
So would you like to speak against the emergency clause? Come forward.
I've just spoke against it, saying that the public should be allowed before you go from one reading to the second to the third.
The first and second reading was in July.
Yeah.
This has been on the agenda for 3 months.
Again, I apologize for being out of turn there. I just want you to know that the rules are that by the municipal league's interpretation, Robert's Rules of Order, is that you should allow public to speak before you just go to the different emergency readings.
Well, that's a clarification our city attorney will get as far as it pertains to emergency clauses.
Mayor,
Yes,
you spoke on emergency clause, on this, you commented, so I believe I would have the liberty to speak also on, okay.
go right ahead.
I thought that I noticed more than a couple of changes that had increased, that will be implemented with passage of this ordinance.
Jamie was just speaking of the planning ones.
Okay, yes.
Particularly.
But there's more in there that
Yes,
will be implemented by passage of this ordinance.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I want to make that clear. There are some increases that will be passed on by the passage of this ordinance that was not voted on by this board in previous meetings. That is my point.
But my second point would be, even though their fee increases,
It's not
they
just
are
fee.
not something that's out of the ordinary that any other cities aren't paying.
Well, no.
And if this board, the board has the total authority to not raise that fee to that certain extent, but why would you not?
Well,
If every other city is charging, an example, $100 for a building permit, why would we want to say, well, we only want to charge $75? These are things the city staff has been working on for 4 or 5 years, and they're not just making up numbers.
I may totally agree with you in a meeting that I may very well voted for you, and I'm sure I would have. But my point is, we should have had the meetings where we discussed that, hey, we're out of step with Texas side, we need to raise the rate $25 more. Okay, Danny Jewell votes for it. Okay, let's go on. But we did have the opportunity to do that, and that's what I'm objecting to. That's my whole point.
Any other discussion?
I would
Terry?
like to read something right quick. Josh, this is in the, I don't know where you were getting yours at, Mr. Peavy, but it's got the ability for citizens to speak in a municipal league or city board meeting is determined by local rules of procedure and not an automatic right granted by the state. The presence of an emergency clause in an ordinance does not inherently prevent public comment, but it does take effect when the ordinance takes effect and the ability for a citizen referendum to challenge it. No inherent right to participate. The Arkansas Freedom of Information Act, FOIA, ensures the public right to attend and be informed of government action, but it does not mandate a right to participate in the discussion. And that's from the municipal league. I don't know where you were getting your information from.
From the same location.
So you got a freebie tonight.
Yep.
Oh, well,
This was updated January 2025. It's the most recent, so I don't know.
okay, I'll relook it up and get back with you.
All right, any other discussion? We have a motion and a second to attach emergency clause. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Director Jewell,
No.
Director Smith,
Yes.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris,
No.
Director Hollibush,
Yes.
Director Brewer.
No.
Mayor Brown.
Yes, and the emergency clause is not attached. Moving right along to item number 9, to adopt an ordinance to amend ordinance K-286 and subsequently sections 28 zoning of the city of Texarkana, Arkansas Code of Ordinance to add a new zoning designation titled mixed-use highway and add a fee for such. Jamie?
Okay. So
as a bit of background on this, we were approached when the Texas side put in the truck stop out by Waffle House on North State Line. And there was some concern about people building actual truck stops in the heart of the city. And so the board, or the Planning Commission, had a workshop on it. The original thought was to ban them altogether. But because the Planning Commission recognized they bring in a significant amount of revenue, that was not a good plan. But they do bring certain challenges. The traffic that comes with them is much heavier than normal traffic. There's a pollution problem with the trucks idling, there's noise problems, there's light problems, and there can be loitering and crime issues with them. So what the Planning Commission decided to do was use one of the zoning options that is in the comprehensive plan. And it's called a mixed-use highway. And this zoning ordinance would be on the outskirts of town and on the major thoroughfares like I-49 and Interstate, which is where the truck stops are going to want to be anyway. And it would be for businesses, not just truck stops, but businesses that rely on that kind of traffic, freight depots, big travel plazas, things like that. So this is actually, so you see what's coming down the road. There are 3 steps to this ordinance. The first one is to create this zone. The second ordinance that we will bring before you later is the actual truck stop ordinance that requires things like traffic impact studies and driveway and egress permits and lighting plans and drainage plans. And then the third thing is we will have to rezone the Flying J truck stop, which is out north of town. It is the only truck stop we have. But if we don't rezone it, it becomes legally non-conforming and they are forbidden from expanding their footprint, and we don't want to do that to them. So we've spoken to their legal department. They've agreed to the rezoning, so that will be the third part of this, but that's down the road. The first step is to create the zone.
Any questions for Jamie?
I got one indirectly in regards to the, what about a truck repair shop, just like I'm referring to the one on East 9th Street, right across from that pink liquor store. I'm getting a lots of calls and question about that truck stop there. Now, it's not a truck stop, it's a diesel truck repair place, and then they testing the truck going up and down the highway, up the neighborhood street and stuff, on Charles Street and all that. So how would you implement?
Well,
Even though they may have a right to be there by now, but,
well, we define truck stops in the truck stop ordinance as some place that has overnight parking, they have showers there, and I understand, so that actually is defined in our ordinance as a garage, and I've looked up the zoning on that, and they're zoned for a repair garage. Now, is it unsightly? I agree, I drive by it every single day, but they're zoned as a repair garage, and that's what they're doing. Whether it's a diesel repair garage or an automotive repair garage, it's a repair garage.
Any other questions for Jamie?
Your mixed-use permit, it allows location within the city interior, if it's on a highway, right?
Well, we don't want them down in the middle of state line.
But let's say 82, 9th Street, that's a highway. Would it be allowed?
It would be up to the board. In the ordinance, the location is one of the qualifiers that they decide. So it would depend. If they were putting it, I don't know, I don't have a vote in this, but if they were putting it on I-49 and 82, I don't know that there would be a problem. But if they're putting it down on 82 in the middle of the residential district, that might be an issue with the Planning Commission.
Any other questions? If not, I'll remind the board, this is an ordinance. To pass tonight, it would need to be read 3 times. I will instruct the city attorney to read the ordinance on its first reading in title form.
An ordinance amending ordinance number K-286 as amended in Section 28 zoning of the City of Texarkana, Arkansas Code of Ordinances to add a new zoning designation titled Mixed-Use Highway and to add a fee for such and for other purposes.
The city attorney's read the ordinance on its first reading, desire to have it read on its second reading tonight.
Second reading, abbreviated form, please.
Second.
Let's have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Director Jewell,
No.
Director Smith,
Yes.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Director Hollibush,
Yes.
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
An ordinance amending ordinance number K-286 is amended in Section 28 zoning of the City of Texarkana, Arkansas Code of Ordinances to add a new zoning designation titled Mixed-Use Highway and to add a fee for such and for other purposes.
Ordinance has been read on its second reading, desire to have it read on its third and final reading.
Third and final abbreviated form.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Director Jewell,
No.
Director Smith,
Yes.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Director Hollibush,
Yes.
Director Director Brewer,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
An ordinance amending ordinance number K-286 is amended in Section 28 zoning of the City of Texarkana, Arkansas Code of Ordinances to add a new zoning designation titled Mixed-Use Highway and to add a fee for such and for other purposes.
Ordinance has been read on its third and final reading, desire to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt. Prior to the board voting to adopt this particular ordinance, is there anyone here wishing to speak for or against?
I got one, I didn't notice.
Yes?
What was the question, well, it's not the question, but what is the fee? Did you ever?
200?
I believe it's $200,
Yeah.
Assistant Mayor Harris, I
That's,
believe.
and that's not a change. That's the fee for commercial rezoning.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Would you call the roll?
Director Jewell,
Yes.
Director Smith,
Yes.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Director Hollibush,
Yes.
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes. And the ordinance is adopted. The city has asked for an emergency clause, the desire to attach.
No.
No?
No.
Oh, this is not the right one, is it?
No.
The next one.
Moving on to item number 10, is to adopt an ordinance amending ordinance 20 to 2019 to add additional operating parameters for the entertainment district.
Okay, so obviously this is a controversial issue. So let me give you some background because there's a lot of people involved, there's a lot of moving parts. The entertainment district came into existence in 2019, and it was supposed to be reviewed every year. It was only ever reviewed in 2021. The police department came to the planning commission and asked us if we would hold a review and have a workshop. At the point they came to us, we still had to advertise it in the paper, so the soonest we could get it on our agenda was the 28th of October. We had a workshop on the 28th of October. 5 of our 7 planning commission members were there. Assistant Mayor Harris was there. Hopkins was represented, Cross Ties was represented, the Wild Hair was represented, and the Hideout was represented. So the initial suggestion was to just close the entertainment district altogether. And I'm not talking about closing the establishments. I'm talking about doing away with open drinking. The Planning Commission was not ready to take that drastic a step to just close the entertainment district, but we knew we needed a starting point. The police were having serious issues down there, and we needed a starting point. So after some input, we came up with 3 things as a starting point. One is to close the entertainment district at 10 o'clock. And again, that's just doing away with the open drinking. It's not closing the establishments. People can still go in and have a drink, but you can't walk around. The other one was that not to allow outside liquor to be brought into the entertainment district. This apparently was the intent of the Planning Commission originally, and the wording that got put in there was no open containers in cars, which didn't solve the problem. And the third one, because we have places like the Wild Hair and Cross Ties that have people that sit outside in their designated area and drink, that they would be allowed to continue to do that after 10 o'clock. Now, I will be happy to answer any questions about what's in the ordinance, what took place at the workshop. There were some options that we thought about. We thought about reducing the size of the entertainment district. We talked about 11 o'clock. Apparently, the issues that are starting down there are starting around 10:30. But I'll be happy to answer any questions about the ordinance.
Can I ask,
If you have questions about the reason for the ordinance and what's taking place downtown, I'm going to let Chief Chataway address that because they are the ones down here.
so on the line that's added, the consumption of alcohol brought from outside the entertainment district is prohibited. The Rock House liquor store is inside the entertainment district. So if I'm downtown with my Jack Daniels, could I say I bought it at the Rock House?
Well, that's a good
Because it
point.
technically qualifies.
That's a good point. I mean, like I said, this is a starting point, and we knew that it would probably have to be redone. Here.
You talking about liquor from Rock
Yes.
House Liquor?
Or any alcoholic
You
beverage.
cannot have glass bottles in the entertainment district at all.
So if I buy a six-pack.
Buy a
of
six-pack,
cans,
you go outside, you pop it open right there.
Repeat
It's
that.
not liquor. If you buy a six-pack, 12-pack, 30-pack, whatever it is, beer in a can, you buy it at Rock House Liquor, step outside and pop it open and start drinking.
Yeah.
It's inside the entertainment district.
You're okay.
Huh?
You're okay to do that?
Currently, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Chief, let's talk about the jurisdiction as far as, I guess, when they're able to hang out in front of the businesses or what have you. How will we be able to navigate that and enforce that? Because, people move and.
Well, there was discussions about cups, entertainment district cups, discussions about bracelets. I believe Wild Hair issues bracelets, cross ties issues, they put cross ties on their cups. It'd be great if we had some type of bracelet to identify that they were old enough to drink in the entertainment district and they purchased that beverage from within the entertainment district. Currently, the businesses are losing money because people are bringing their own alcoholic beverage downtown to drink. And they're the ones suffering from that part right there. So I don't think y'all have an issue with passing that ordinance where there's no outside alcoholic beverages allowed in the entertainment district. They need that, the businesses.
Chief, how would we enforce that? I know the business owners, going to sell the bracelets and all that, what have you. Now, I know we've spent close to $28,000 just on overtime, what have you.
Yes, sir.
How would we, put the dollars to the paper when it comes to manpower and enforcing that?
Since May, we've dedicated 2 officers every Friday, Saturday night for downtown entertainment district. Overtime, that's mandated. We have to direct officers to work that overtime. 2 weekends ago, I assigned 4 officers along with me working on Friday night, then 4 officers on Saturday night, plus a captain, because I don't cost money. The captain doesn't cost money, and we worked downtown. It was busy that night, and we wrote several citations, made 4 or 5 arrests for DWI. I forget the other ones. I don't remember the other ones, but we made several arrests and issued several citations. The cost, we got overtime budget, but we don't exactly have a entertainment district overtime budget.
Well, let me ask you this question right here, Chief. When it comes to presence patrol and deterring any potential fights or what have you, the contingency for that, as far as what you see as far as having a contingency for that, as far as the presence patrols are
If
just
the
being in
district
place?
continues as is,
Yeah.
we're going to have 4 officers on Friday night, 4 to 6 officers on Saturday night. Saturday night's the busiest night of the entertainment district. To properly address everything, you need more than that, because you get several hundred people downtown, and to properly safely enforce that, you need a large presence downtown.
And this is even without a venue, as far as having a band singing or anything like that. That's just a normal weekend?
Friday, Saturday night, yes. I will tell you, this past weekend, it was a lot better. Why? I don't know. I don't know if there's a cooler weather. We had hardly any issues. The only thing we had was a reckless driving, somebody doing a burnout right by cross ties. That's the only thing that we had this weekend. We had one domestic that happened on Broad Street, 300 block of Broad. Other than that, it went smooth this weekend.
We do know when the climate drops, you know, the foot traffic slows
Oh,
down.
yes.
Yeah.
Once it gets cold, you won't have many people just hanging out. To address the loitering part, you got to loiter, so we can enforce it, you have to be harassing and/or threatening manner in your loitering. We can't just go up and, per city ordinance or state statute, we just can't ask you for your ID and move along, get inside a business. It's a public place. So unless we get some report that they're harassing somebody by loitering or threatening somebody by loitering, we cannot enforce anything.
Gotcha.
And we did attempt to put a loitering ordinance together to bring to you all. It was on the agenda for tonight, but when Josh did his research, he discovered it was unconstitutional. There was a Supreme Court decision that rendered that exact language that we were using as unconstitutional, so we had to pull that.
Yes, I totally agree to that because, you know, the public, you know, have the right to be there on the sidewalks or what have you. But kind of like a point that came up earlier about being in the middle of the highway, that's public safety or what have you.
Yes.
And so, you know, that's kind of common sense for us to enforce that or what have you. But just like with any plan, we make a plan, we implement the plan, then we reassess the plan or what have you. And then, we hope for, you know, that plan is complete.
I've implemented, I guess, over a month ago, zero tolerance citations, arrest for any violation of downtown entertainment district. And like I said, the weekend before last, we wrote several citations and made 4 or 5 arrests. This past weekend, don't know if it's due to weather, don't know if it's confusion from the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. People were confused about when they can and cannot be there or whatever. But this past weekend was a lot better.
All right.
You said anywhere from 4 to 6 uniforms.
Yes.
If the ordinance passed and restriction was to 10 o'clock, at 10 o'clock, would you stay with 4 to 6 uniforms, or would it be reduced?
I will reduce it to 2, keep it at 2 right now because it is getting colder and not as many people are going to be hanging out on the street corners.
Chief, I've got a question. Now, I mean, I've read this and I want to make sure that I'm under, and this may be a Jamie question. The change in all this is just, it's not going to affect any business. They're open till midnight, 2 in the morning, whatever that is. You just are not going to be able to walk up and down. Now, if I leave Wild Hair, no alcohol in my hand, it's 11 o'clock and I'm heading to Cross Ties, no problem.
No problem.
Because even if I'm a little intoxicated, because I'm in the entertainment district.
Unless you're causing a disturbance or
Correct.
Your hazard.
It's just keeping the alcohol off the street part after 10.
Yes.
Okay.
And Chief, I have another question. In regards to barricades, that's something we won't be putting up, is that correct?
No, we started getting complaints of reckless driving and crowds.
Yeah.
So we implemented the barricades. We had them up for probably 1-2 months. They've been down for over 2 months, 2.5, it's 2.5, 3 months. And they haven't been on their special, except for special events, like this past Friday night, they barricaded it off.
Well, Chief, I will say this right here because I believe in public safety. I can remember in 2019 when we put this ordinance in place because a lot of the citizens was looking for a place to go and unwind when they get off work. And so, you know, it was from the people, for the people that wanted this in place. But now with the high spike in crime or what have, not crime, but the violence, what have you, you know, I totally understand what we're doing here because, you know, kind of roll back to what our focus is our economy. Because, you know, we're trying to develop, have economic development and not chaos, and operational assets and not a crisis, and job growth and not liabilities. But just like we're saying here, to implement a plan, you know, I don't support 11 o'clock a.m. to 2 a.m. I don't support 11 o'clock a.m. to 10 p.m., but I would like to see it be like 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. because McDonald's closed at 11 p.m. And so, but, you know, with that being said, that's my take on it. I'm not going to let an hour deter me from making this decision, but because the thing about it, we can't recock because if somebody lose a life, somebody's son, somebody's wife, somebody's father, but if there's, I do think when it comes to us, our contingency plans of how we're going to enforce it, we might need to polish that up. And this is not being denied, it's just maybe just being delayed to make sure we have a sound plan of how we're going to enforce it. And right now,
Enforce what portion?
for what I understand right now, the enforcing of them drinking or what have you is because they're going to have a ban and they have to.
That's not anywhere in writing yet
All right.
about having to have a ban. Only Wild Hair gives those out.
I think, Chief, that, you know, the one thing about it, I've probably read it 5 or 6 times today. And probably at least 2 or 3 of those times I get a little bit something different when I go back and try to read it. And then we've had some conversations about what the intent, everybody should know what the intent is. And the intent is we have a safety issue downtown, whether it's created, could not be created by the entertainment district, that's here and there, in my opinion. It's something that has to be addressed.
Absolutely.
And so the thing that I'm looking at when I look at an ordinance, and I look at them a little bit different sometimes because I look at them from the enforcement standpoint on how we can handle it and how we do enforce it. And I do see some areas in here that I feel like that we could fix in the same purpose of trying to fix our problem is, for an example, is I don't think all of them understand they've got to have an outside area kind of fenced off or some type of protected area that these people can stand in if they come outside of that thing at 10:01 with a drink. And they would need some time to adopt to that, to adjust to that if we were going to pass this ordinance. And the hours, and we have signs to change, and we have a number of things that we need to do. So me personally, I would like to see the board table it so that we can continue this dialogue. And when I say table it, I say we get to work on it tomorrow.
Right.
Because this is something that does not need to get put on the back burner. We need to try to address this issue. But we have some things, we've heard from some of the property owners down there. And I think all the board would agree even tonight that we need to make some changes. But we need to probably compromise with some people about hours or whatever it takes. But we also need to be specific about how we're going to identify somebody when they come out of Zapata's or the Hideout or somewhere. Either we use Cody's bands or everybody has to have a band, and then we would need some time to implement it. So I would like to just see us table it, and if we have to, push it even to the next board meeting and get to work in the next 2 weeks on how we can perfect this to get to where everybody can enforce it.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I just have a question for clarity on, just going back to Terry's example, he talked about 11 o'clock. Okay, coming out, he's had a few drinks and he wants to walk from one establishment to the other. It says here, entertainment district to close at 10 o'clock. So the entertainment district is closed at 10 o'clock and he's walking at 11 o'clock. It's no longer the entertainment district.
It's still the entertainment district. You can't walk outside with alcohol after 10.
Right.
You can't walk around with alcohol. You can only stay in front of the establishment you purchased it.
I just, with the hours being at 10, my concerning question is there risk of public intoxication walking at 11 o'clock from one establishment to another versus if it's considered to be closed?
Not unless you're a hazard to yourself or the public.
You call over.
Yes.
And that would be the same before 10 p.m., right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
No, public safety is the number one concern.
Well, sure,
Second is all the business owners who invest a lot of money in the entertainment district. If we have one bad thing go down, it's going to ruin everything everybody's built. So public safety is number one.
I think we,
I mean, I would venture to say on a finance note, if I really dug into it and got with Sheena and we really looked into it and had a way to garner up and gather up all of our sales tax revenue we've created on alcohol, we have spent 3 times that in overtime with our police department.
Yes, sir.
So it's not a money-making, we want it to be, and we want people to come downtown, and we want to be involved in the community. That entertainment district was built for the community to have different venues and different things to go do, and it did that, in my opinion. It opened up several other places.
Yeah.
But when it creates a safety issue, we're responsible for trying to fix it.
I believe Shreveport is going through the same thing right now. I thought
Yes,
I read
they
something
are.
in the news about their
Yes.
district of fights.
Yes,
You know.
they are.
Theirs is going to be closed at 10 o'clock, I saw today.
Yes.
so
And
just,
like the mayor was saying, I'm all for tabling this, because my biggest fear right now, I just want to make sure that we just get the wording right, that we don't violate anybody's constitution. But we get to work on this like tomorrow, because the weekend is coming up. And we can't recall, somebody's son, mother, father get killed down there. I mean,
That's the last thing I want to happen.
yeah,
And
I
How,
applaud you.
Jamie or Tyler, how soon could we schedule another planning session workshop? Do you want input from the board by emails? What could we do, Jamie? I mean,
I have to advertise it 15 days in advance.
15.
So I could get one, if I can get a hold of them tomorrow, I can get one on the calendar,
okay,
but we're running into the holidays.
right, I understand.
it wouldn't
Director-
make it for your second November meeting.
Do what?
It wouldn't make it for your second November
Would
meeting.
be the first in December.
And actually, well,
Well, we wouldn't have to have it to go back before the planning commission, would we?
If there's changes, it would have to go back.
and that's, I wouldn't have to advertise the workshop, but I have to advertise the meeting where they vote on it at. And that's what we did on the 28th, was we had a workshop and then had a meeting. So I have to advertise.
But what if we just have a workshop and the planning commission doesn't have a meeting? And those changes get referred to the board at our December meeting?
It's got to go to the planning.
They have to vote on the changes.
it goes back to planning commission.
Because the public has a right to be at the planning commission.
Director Harris?
Slow a lot of this down. The weather's gonna slow a lot of this down.
Well, I just say we move forward with providing we get a motion to table prior to, Director Harris, go right ahead.
I was just waiting until I had the opportunity.
All right, go right ahead.
Patiently wait. But my, like I said, when we do have the second meeting or whatever, I would like to see the people who got the business, in there sitting at the table like you were, Chief. So I don't know why you was on, even though you was bringing that issue up, but I was like the Wild Hair, Cross Ties, and we just had the business sitting around at the table in front of that instead of sitting as spectators.
Let me ask a
Because-
question.
they
For you guys that were here, did the police chief run that meeting and have all the input? You guys didn't have any input in the workshop, or you did have some input on it?
I will admit, like, as the weekend went by and you have a few minutes to think about things, you kind of, reorganize your thoughts a little bit and think, well, maybe we should look at it this way or that way. It's definitely never going to be perfect.
But you never felt like that meeting was controlled by the police department?
I didn't feel like it was being controlled.
Okay.
We gave input, we sit out here, but I wouldn't mind sitting up there and devising a really good implemented plan at the end of the day. I'm all for not bringing outside alcohol. My issue is if you're participating in, say, my place, we don't normally see people walking down to the hideout or cross ties with their drinking and having issues. It's those that are coming into the district and taking advantage of the entertainment district and parlaying out in the middle of the street. It's
I
not those
understand.
that are already going to Hopkins or Banana Club or anything, so
Right.
that implementation is deviating off the main subject. And that's people coming into the entertainment district that don't want to participate in any of the business, and they're just taking advantage of the situation. And the last thing we want any of us is harm to come upon any of those coming downtown, including them or citizens.
they don't want to,
There
they don't
will
want to pay
be
the
a-
cover, but they want the entertainment.
David?
Every other board of these type of meetings, that everybody sat around the same table. More recently, they've had us businesses back
So let's do this, the motion at hand. Would there be a motion tonight to table?
I'll make a motion to
Mayor?
table
Oh, wait a
that.
minute, I'd like to ask.
Okay, go ahead. Go right ahead.
Hey, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna do action man.
Yeah, we're not through.
I interrupted twice,
So-
3 times, so, Mayor, I thought I.
Go right, Director Harris has the floor.
And also, Chief, that night at the workshop, you did show some, Facebook fighting. So would you kind of elaborate on that because, that issue too? You showed some issues that, I'm assuming that that's the reason why you brought forward this because.
Yes, the fights.
You had the fights down there
Yes,
at 1, 2 o'clock at
Oh,
night.
yeah, there's many fights.
So-
I only showed 2 or 3
Yeah, you
videos
only
of
showed
fights.
that because,
Just groups of just fighting. There's been fights where, actually, 2-3 weekends ago, there's a fight where a subject fled from us. We chased him, we got him, and we got a gun off of him. There's been videos of fights where individuals been fighting and guns have dropped and fell from their waistbands. There's been a video of a fight where an individual was reaching down for his ankle, and you can see an impression on his ankle. But luckily, he kept on running.
Yeah.
So there is an issue with guns downtown, probably more than we know. But that's another reason, public safety, when you fight and include alcohol, and there's going to be something that is going to happen that we can't turn back from.
And Chief, you mentioned.
Director Harris has the floor, I'm sorry. Please don't interrupt.
I don't know why, but, I patiently wait. And then the other issue with the loitering, I noticed that the law has somewhat changed in 2025 about the loitering. But you did say you couldn't just walk up to somebody, but from what I read, it stated that if you thought that the person was in intention of a crime, you could go up and question that person.
There's times we can go up, question, and ask for ID, and if they fail to identify themselves
And I didn't
with
know-
another portion of that, then we can arrest for loitering.
Okay.
But what really will help us out is if we get complaints of the group harassing or being there in a threatening manner, and we observe that, then we can enforce the loitering statute.
Okay. But is
The state law.
Arkansas, show me ID state or not? Do you have to be, could you just walk up to somebody and ask for ID in Arkansas?
No, not just go up and ask for ID. Now, if we go up in a consensual encounter, hey, how you doing, what's your name, this and that, and you mind showing me your ID? You say no, we can't make you show your ID.
Okay, well, I just want that issue cleared up, was it Arkansas ID state or not? So, and I guess I go ahead and, I think that was basically it, but I'd go ahead, because I know you haven't had a chance to say anything.
Director Jewell?
Well, first of all, I think I'd like to ask Josh, is there any way we could put more teeth in our loitering statute?
Well-
Our ordinance, not statute.
Right, and that's what we're looking at. And the problem I had with the one that was presented was,
Are we talking about the entertainment district or the loitering?
he asked about loitering, I guess, to enforce in the entertainment district.
Yes.
But we're looking at something that we can pass that would make, exactly what he wants to do, if there is something going on that shouldn't be going on.
Yes.
Okay? Now, same thing, and they won't. They're not just gonna walk up, somebody strolling downtown with no apparent place to go and say, what are you doing here? You need to move along. Okay? That's perfectly legal. So the problem with the definition of loitering that we had, I think it ran afoul of constitutional issues. So we're gonna do something else.
These gentlemen that are here, I was hoping that I'd get the opportunity to hear from them tonight. So are we not gonna?
Which gentleman?
The three that spoke during the citizens community.
Do you guys have anything else y'all want to say, or?
I mean, I can add something just real quick, is after this meeting really brought some stuff to light that like I hadn't even really thought of, and I'm in full consensus with the chief of police and with the mayor. I think the Rock House needs to be removed from the entertainment district so that there can't, that anybody with a glass anything, well, obviously no glass was allowed, so that anybody without and I think some sort of a wristband identification thing could be implemented. And honestly, and I can't speak for the owners because I'm not an owner or a manager, but like, I'm sure that they would be happy to come up with some money to get these bracelets, to get these IDs, and they say, hey, are you planning on participating in the entertainment district when you leave? Yes, here's your drink in a plastic cup, here's your identifying band. But to me, the whole reason I even got up and came to this meeting, and I'm so glad that I did, is that, I just don't think, I think that we could implement that and we would see the changes and then we wouldn't lose 2 hours of the entertainment district culture. You know what I mean, of getting to walk around and visit. Because I mean, like, just being selfish, like, when I get off work, I like to go to the Rock House and get me a tall boy and walk right out the door and pop it open. But I'm willing to give that up because to get my 4 hours of good entertainment district culture that we try to cultivate that. That's all I wanted to add. Thank you.
Director Harris.
I got one more question.
Go ahead.
Is there any way that we can short circuit without that going to planning and zoning? Can we not just set up a workshop for the board to consider?
Planning commission has to be involved in zoning modifications.
Well, they've already done it.
But if we change
But,
it,
you know,
then it
but to
gets-
remove Rock House?
No, not that. I'm talking about where we stand today. If we just have a workshop for our purposes to better
You can do
understand
that.
what they did.
You can do that.
Yeah,
But now,
and go from there.
Changes.
We
If it
tabled
changes-
this.
If it changes, it needs to go before the planning commission.
Can we have a joint meeting with them?
I don't see why not.
I think that would be.
It's a
But it has-
workshop.
Has to be advertised, though.
I've got one thing I want to say as well, on the cups and things like that. You know, anytime you go to put an insignia or try to, heighten it in a sense, it would cost more. And you're going to have to ask the businesses to come out of pocket more on these cups or wristbands. Now, does that also mean that anybody that comes in Monday through Thursday has to have that special cup or special wristband, even though it's not that highlighted of a time period? Or is it something we really just need to focus on the weekends, when the traffic is high, there's a few other things that need to be brought to the board.
And
I
Chief,
think
you
that's a
also want,
perfect topic for a workshop.
and Chief, you also want us to discuss about the patrons bringing alcohol.
Yes, if anything
Yeah.
passes tonight, can we at least get that to pass where you can't bring outside alcoholic beverages
Right.
into the entertainment district? I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
That's,
Well, I don't think we can amend it. at
Can't
all.
pass
We
part
have
of
to
the
pass it
ordinance.
As it is, right?
We could amend the current ordinance that's on the books. You could trash this and, no, because we haven't advertised that. I don't think we can do anything to it.
Well, it said, we included that in this ordinance, correct?
yes.
Yeah, but you don't want some of that
But you don't
other
want
stuff
the
to
other
stay.
issues to be
Right.
taken up yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you can't do it.
So we just table it and.
Well, is everybody adamantly opposed to the 10 o'clock? Is that our big deal?
That would also be you caught in the act of consumption of alcohol is brought in, because like I brought up in the workshop, let's just say you were working cattle on Saturday and you rolled up with a truck, you got a 30-pack in the ice chest, you're not drinking out of it, but you still brought it into the entertainment district.
No consumption of outside beverages, no consumption.
And the one thing that I'll make one final point myself, and the one thing I thought about this really too, is that we do have a neighboring state line city that has an entertainment district that could possibly end up having different hours if we change it. Have you consulted with Chief Schutte? Have you talked to him about making any changes to this and what we would do so you wouldn't be 2 o'clock on one side and 10 o'clock on the other? Or?
He was waiting to see what we done.
Because we do walk down to the Texas side sometimes, I walk over to Capitol.
But they're open to making changes, or
Yes.
you think so?
Well, I know he is, chief is.
Okay. Any other discussion? Director
I'm
Harris?
just gonna ask that, doesn't Arkansas have a law on the book, no, in a sense, BYOB? mean that you couldn't bring alcohol anyway from outside since the entertainment district
bring it
wasn't
into
safe?
an establishment?
You can't bring it into the establishment.
Okay, so why isn't that be an issue about somebody bringing a beer?
Because, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Why would there be an issue of that? Could you interpret some state
Because-
law that can stop them from having a bottle of a beer?
I think it's
downtown?
the purpose, everybody has an issue with bringing alcohol to the district.
Right. Uh-huh.
And staying like in their, like on the street drinking this, consuming this alcohol.
Right.
Not bringing it into the establishment.
Right, yes.
The establishments can't do that. That's the state law.
go to establishment do that.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, well, that's what I'm saying. Is there some state law saying you couldn't,
Just bring it out to the street and drink it?
just say if
No,
you
no.
were having an entertainment, you were having a concert downtown,
container.
and you
Yeah,
couldn't.
open
have-
container, yes.
Yeah, you'd have open
Now,
container.
because we're talking about the entertainment district
I know.
repairs, and,
Okay.
and businesses are losing money because people are bringing their own alcoholic
Right.
beverages into the
I
entertainment district.
understand that. And what I was getting at, was there some state law you can interpret
If it-
saying that no BYOB, that you basically, because the whole entire entertainment district is somewhat entertainment, and then you bringing the alcohol from outside, and basically you bringing alcohol into a BYOB, into an entertainment district.
It's public property.
Yes.
Okay. I know that's a stretch on that, but that's what. All right, well, I guess we kick this something up. We already had it.
So we have a motion. Director
Motion
Harris.
to,
I move that we table this.
Second.
Thank goodness.
The next,
Second, yeah.
until we have a workshop and take it before the plan.
Can we have a joint workshop to make this move quickly?
I think you have to, because.
And I mean, that way we get residents.
I don't know if anything prohibits the planning commission and the board meeting together. It's just an open public meeting.
We will have a joint workshop, absolutely.
Would they,
So we have a motion? Yes, sir.
Well,
Would
we're
they-
tabling this, and I think
We
the
haven't
chief,
voted yet. so-
the chief is wanting some relief tonight. We're giving him the relief if we table.
I don't see any way we can, not just that one sentence.
We can always amend it in this ordinance next time around.
But you can't, and you're only going to be enforcing that, in my opinion, and me personally, I wouldn't vote for that tonight. I understand what he's trying to do, but it needs to be clean.
so if we have a joint workshop, are we gonna have to have two separate votes? I mean, planning commission's gonna have to go vote for
They
changes?
would have to have a meeting, vote on it.
Yeah.
And then it comes to us.
Well,
We're looking at December before we do anything.
So what we,
We have a motion and a second to table.
what
Is there
we,
any other discussion on that motion? Any? Could you call the roll, please?
Director Jewell,
no.
Director Smith,
yes.
Director Roberts,
No.
Assistant Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Director Hollebush,
No.
Director Brewer,
It's not going to pass, so. Yes. He said no, I said yes.
okay.
So it is not tabled, so I have no idea where to go from here.
Pass it as it, we have to pass it as it is.
Have to pass it as it
We
is.
have to pass it.
Well, we can amend it.
We can't amend it.
You can't amend it until it goes back to planning and
So what
zoning.
has to happen now is that it gets brought to a vote, and then if it fails, it's dead for half a year.
Wait a minute, we can amend it. We don't have to go back to planning and zoning.
You can, so if I understand correctly, if you are simply removing, it will take some time, but if you are simply removing certain aspects of the newly written ordinance, for example, if you only want the outside alcohol provision in the ordinance, you could pass that because planning voted on to approve that. And you could, as the board, you could agree to not include the other provisions.
Why can't
Yeah,
you
we
just
can
make
do
a
it.
motion to amend the current ordinance that's on the books and add that provision?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, let's.
Not this. There would be, you.
Right, it'd be, that's what I'm saying.
You'd
We
have
would
to take out
mark-
20 things for me to vote for that, but take the ordinance that's in existence now, leave it like it is with the hours and everything that's in it, because that's what you're operating under right now. He has
Right.
an obligation to do the same, just amend that particular ordinance tonight and add, you can't bring alcohol inside.
Correct.
And then
So what's that ordinance number? The 219?
I'm looking.
Is that helpful at all?
Is it 20?
It's 20.
I mean, because you're still gonna have people drinking in the streets until 2 a.m.
Here's
What's helpful is-
2029.
So, I mean,
Is that what
and
it
you've
is?
got 6
It's
officers out there that.
2019 is the current ordinance.
But not necessarily, because now if you're caught
There it
drinking
is.
an outside beverage, like say it's in,
So
a
what are you
bottle
looking
that you
for
bought
in it?
from the liquor store up the road, it doesn't even have to be glass, that gives them a little more leg room to go over and say something about it.
But if I'm.
Well,
gonna-
it's the consumption of alcohol brought from outside.
But you're not gonna be able to tell, because if I'm gonna drink liquor, then I'm gonna pour it in a cup first.
Well, you say that, but
You
we've
know.
got video footage of people pouring it out of the bottle sitting on ice chest, so there is
Well-
a direct correlation there, for sure, not always.
Yeah.
Now, if you got something like he was saying in the workshop, well, I just pour this vodka in a water bottle. You're
Yeah.
gonna have
Open
people that are
containers
listening.
from liquor stores.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I have no idea what to do. So until somebody tells me something, we've got a motion on an ordinance that failed to be tabled. So either you've got to go back and vote on that ordinance, and I'm not so sure really we could amend the other ordinance that we haven't advertised we were gonna be bringing up.
I don't think we can change the language at all without going back to planning, can we?
But
But-
planning has approved the one sentence change that I think everybody is agreeable to. The no outside consumption of alcoholic beverages brought from outside the entertainment district.
But it
That has
also-
been approved by the planning.
It has been, but
And it's
also
in-
included in that ordinance are the hours, the different
Right.
hours that nobody wants, and the
Right.
other things.
But it was, all I'm saying is that part was advertised. You couldn't add other provisions, right? But if you're taking away, like if you scratch out the hours, you could pass this ordinance with only the addition of the,
Does that not change the intention of the ordinance? If you take, I mean,
You've
But
got the
it's y'all-
consumption going outside, you have to take all that stuff out of there.
well,
Sitting outside the establishment, you can only walk there,
that's why I said it would take some time.
yeah. Well, you better
I mean,
get started on it because you got an ordinance to take up tonight. And I'm hungry. All right?
So in all this, we know that they are making a difference in a headway with enforcing the road patrols. Is there any way to offer him more assistance with that? If money is an issue, is there a side fund or a slush fund or an emergency fund?
There ain't none of the above.
I know, time's up, but if they're needing a little help and that is making a difference,
That doesn't end the
So-
safety issue.
To put the money,
cops on the street to help with the safety issue.
to put the money into perspective, no, we're already over an overtime budget, and if the entertainment district continues as is, police department is projecting a $95,000 increase in overtime.
Wow.
So it would increase from about 200, what was it, 220 a year?
10 a year.
210 a year, so you're going up over 300,000 a year.
So that's a tremendous amount from what we get on
Miss-
sales from.
Mr. Mayor, I think the cleanest way to do this is to table it. I think that's the only way you can do it. I mean, otherwise you got to vote on it. If it doesn't pass, you can't
I mean,
bring it
we
back.
can open up the floor to vote.
Can I make a motion to table it, even though we just voted
But-
to table it down? Can I make another motion?
You've had further discussion.
I don't,
But if
Make
this
a-
ordinance doesn't pass, I mean, it wouldn't get 3 readings. I mean, it's just, we're just wasting time and spinning wheels right now.
Right.
So somebody needs to make up their mind on what we want to do.
won't we just read it the first time and you don't go no further?
If it fails tonight, isn't there a certain way it can be brought back up earlier if they vote on it?
The only way it wouldn't be brought back up is if it doesn't get read 3 times. It has the 6-month sunset if it got read 3 times and didn't get adopted. But,
We're starting over anyway. I mean, with the new,
Well, yeah,
oh, you table it, you're
But if we
starting
vote it
over
down, how long do we
anyway.
have to wait again?
It's gonna be
until-
passed in the next month,
I think just
so.
If we vote it down tonight, Mayor, how long do we have to wait again before it can be,
December before it comes to us.
it can be brought back to the agenda that,
No, if we vote it
If
down,
we vote it down, now, if we read it one time, we don't have to take any further action, and then we can
you can
But
do a
can-
new,
do a
you
second reading
could,
of
can
the
am-
next.
can
you can do a
amendments?
new ordinance. You
Can am-
could do a new ordinance by then.
If we bring it back, it won't be the same ordinance.
It'll be a new
It'll be a
ordinance.
different ordinance, so I don't know if the city.
So it doesn't matter if we,
I vote we table it, but.
I make a motion to table the item on the agenda.
Let's discuss it.
You cannot bring.
All right, I will make, let's see, I'll have the city attorney read the ordinance in its title form for its first reading.
an ordinance amending ordinance number 20-2019 of the City of Texarkana Code of Ordinances to amend the operating parameters of the entertainment district and for other purposes.
Ordinance has been read on its first reading. The desire to have it read on its second reading tonight.
second reading,
abbreviated form. Second.
abbreviated form.
So motion and a second to have it read on its second reading in abbreviated form.
Director
Call the
Jewell?
roll, please.
Director Jewell?
Yes.
Director Smith?
I'm so lost. On what, I know what I want done. No.
Okay,
Next. Call, he said no.
Oh, I did not hear that, sorry. Director Roberts?
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris?
No.
Director Hollebush?
No,
Director Brewer?
No.
Mayor Brown?
No. So the ordinance will be placed on our next agenda for a second reading. Moving on to item number 11, which is is that item number 11 or 10? Oh, 11, last item. Adopt an ordinance amending ordinance K 576, chapter 16, section 16-2 nuisances, abatement providing for the suspension and revocation of certificates of occupancy for commercial properties declared nuisances. Jamie? Or,
that was me, sorry.
oh, that was you.
Tracy was going, Tracy was going to handle it, but she is out with family. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get down to it. Okay, so just to provide a summary here of what this does for us, this is going to provide our building official, so Roger, with the ability to revoke a certificate of occupancy from a business if they have one of those, if there's one of the 3 conditions there in section 2. So obviously, if it's been declared a nuisance by municipal court, if the premises have been subject to 2 or more verified nuisance-related incidents, that could be arrest, public disturbance calls, or criminal citations within a 24-hour period, or the continued use of the premises poses an imminent threat to the public's health, safety, or welfare. We have had some issues with businesses in the past with some hotels, and I believe I've spoken to some of you about implementing a business license that would be similar, but instead of imposing additional burdens on our businesses, we decided to go this route. We felt it was easiest to be able to revoke the certificate of occupancy, either revoke or suspend, and this gives us the ability to do so, whereas before, our ordinances weren't clear about revoking certificates of occupancy.
Director Harris?
I was looking at, now, that's before or after this person is taken to court? That the certificate of occupancy is removed? Because I'm looking at the statute 1454-101-1454 1710. It's after the court intervened. It's not before, so at what point is it gonna be taken
Are
away?
you talking about a nuisance?
Uh-huh,
There are, there's two different nuisance statutes. Okay?
right.
So this part, technically, it could be this addresses both of those. But this just gives the building official, city manager, or chief of police the ability to revoke prior to any court intervention.
Well, see, that's what I see the issue, because the person does not have their due process in court. To after the fact, because from what I'm seeing, you got to give that business due process prior to the government making that decision, and this ordinance does not give that person due process. And the reason why I'm using due process.
Well, let me, if you read it,
Uh-huh.
the city manager, the city's chief building official, upon recommendation of the city manager or chief of police, is authorized to immediately suspend or revoke a certificate of occupancy upon a finding that, number one, the premises has been declared a nuisance by the court
Okay,
under city code,
okay,
okay? Or the premises has been subject of 2 or more verified nuisance-related incidents,
but see now,
but
that's up to
note,
subject.
the due process is in section 3 that follows that.
Uh-huh.
Notice and hearing requirements prior to suspension or revocation.
Yeah.
These things happen.
Right. But who is gonna do the hearing?
City manager.
You can't give that city manager that.
No.
power there. They got to be the court.
No.
I still have an issue with that because you're getting still the government in that power to make that determination. All that need to be before the court, from what I
And-
understand. And that's not before the court.
We don't
City
have to
manager.
put all contingencies in an ordinance. They always have the right, okay, after a certificate of occupancy has been revoked, attacked, you get a notice letter, you can take that to court.
Yeah, but it would be civil court. Now, I also seen that you
Correct.
can take that, the city attorney can take that business to court.
Correct?
Won't you just have that? You already got a state law saying you can do that.
It's an extremely, extremely long process, and the issue here has been,
Yeah.
we're seeing an increase in problems, and it is impossible to take them through the nuisance abatement before something terrible happens.
Well, I still say that need to go before a court, because that person may present their side, the city can present their side, then the court will make the final say-so on this. I don't think that that you as the city manager should make that decision. I know I'm probably gonna be outvoted again on this issue, but I'm looking at the state law that have that issue, and I think all nuisance should, you can have a city ordinance that's to identify what the nuisance is, but after that point, that needs to go before the court, whether it's municipal court or civil court.
That's up to you. There's a process in place for nuisance abatement. There is an issue with that process. This is what we're presenting in lieu of that. Or, I'm sorry, in addition.
And the city issues the occupancy and monitors occupancy. And this.
How many COs are we revoking?
None right now. I mean, we've got one. We did one last year under building code issues, and then one here recently besides that.
And what was the recent one revoked for?
Familiar. It was revoked for criminal issues.
And did
I'm
those,
trying to remember.
aren't they eligible to come reapply for a certificate of occupancy? Have they reopened?
Roger, have they reopened? Yes, they've reopened. Yes.
We
they
shut
were-
them down, they turned right back around, went through the process. and
I'm sorry,
opened up.
they were, that certificate of occupancy was revoked due to the use per their occupancy. They applied for their occupancy for one use, they were using it as something else. They were using it as a bar, and they applied for a lounge, and they reapplied for a lounge afterwards. We did our inspections, they were reissued a certificate of occupancy.
And what kind of warning processes went through that, Roger? Or do you know what, we kept telling them, you're gonna get this revoked if you keep doing this? Then here, they have to have at least two
There were-
instances. I'm assuming that when we go back out there like the second time, we say, if you get caught doing this one more time, we're gonna have to yank your permit?
There was no, ABC got involved. ABC got involved. I'll let Chief speak some more on that if he wishes. I'm not sure what I can say or not.
I mean, I'm just curious as to what we're doing it, and this right here is actually doing that. A lot of this is criminal. And this is allowing us to go through the process to, whether they sue the city or get them an attorney or do whatever they want. The point is, they went right back down there to the city, went through the process, and we reissued them a permit. And they're probably gonna do it again. But this is something, at least we stopped it for 3 or 4 days. But the other thing I see in here that people have been after me every year since I've been mayor, it addresses the A&P taxes as not being in compliance with your business, which means we have businesses that are paying their A&P taxes like they're supposed to. We have some that do not. We have some that have never remitted them. It's not fair to the city to collect them and not remit them. It's really not lawful, in my opinion, to not collect them when you're supposed to be collecting them under our city tax code. So this addresses that.
This one does not. That was removed because it was not included in your packet. So we're going to have to come back to you with the A&P tax added to it.
Well, it's right here and
The last packet I got.
yeah, we got the last packet out this afternoon.
It
It
was
said,
updated again at
Huh?
like, it was updated again at like 4:45.
Okay, so
the premises have failed to comply with the city's advertising and promotion tax requirements. Item number 5.
Sounds like this one needs more work too.
Do what?
Sounds like this one needs a little more work too.
No.
No, I don't have that one.
All right.
With the A&P.
Yeah, I don't have.
Well, I would like to see
It's not in
that,
there. I redid it.
but it's not in the one that was submitted to the board.
It was the one, I updated it today and resent it to y'all.
But it's not the one we had prior to coming here unless.
It was not the one from Friday, no.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's not in here, even though that's something we've been
The
looking.
intent was to put it in there, we got the wrong copy. All right? I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, fair is fair, and I've had many complaints over the years with businesses that aren't up to date, not paying. How are we addressing delinquency? We've looked through litigation on how we could possibly litigate these people for not paying them, and it's just been now you have more teeth to it, in my opinion, to say, hey, we can yank your occupancy permit if you don't pay them.
Yes, definitely, Mayor. We've been looking at that since 2019, and now we're finally about to get something in place to help.
I got a question.
Okay?
Ask it.
Yeah.
Those
Go right ahead.
2 items that didn't get advertised. How can we legally add them right now at this juncture? It wasn't in my packet.
Well, I got the updated version.
Well, I mean, I'm sure it's in my email, but was that not too late to?
The public advertisement is not that specific.
They just get the agenda.
Yeah, and the agenda doesn't state whether the A&P tax is included in that or not.
So this is okay? I mean, we're meeting all our requirements as far as their publications and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
So will the ordinance include the A&P tax collection that Mayor just spoke of, even though it's not indicated on what I'm looking at?
It's not even a discussion.
So it will not.
Right.
So can the current ordinance that was submitted to the board prior to 4:45 today, can we add that? Can we amend that ordinance to add that on a separate motion, or should we table this and fix it and bring it back next week? Why don't we just table everything?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Yes.
I would pass this as it. I'm sorry, I mean, it's up to y'all, but my suggestion would be to pass this as is. It is extremely easy for me to bring it back to y'all next meeting with the 2 more lines added to it.
Any other discussion?
But when
Yes.
once you vote on something, you cannot come back and vote on something or with the.
It would be a different ordinance.
Would be amending.
Would be an
And-
amendment to this ordinance, or?
He could bring a new ordinance.
Okay, then, and also if you, remove a occupation permit, do that, person, what kind of due process they got in that? Cause I know I'm still using the word due process, and that's not by, and that is by chance. I am using the word due process. So what due process they would have in that? If
They
I
have-
remove that?
They have the right to appeal.
To who?
I think first to the city manager, and I think to the city board.
It is. 15 days, it comes to the city board.
And then, they can appeal to the circuit court after that.
But Roger, so another question then, the due process is, in this particular case, they went right back down there and got their certificate. We had nothing to prevent them from getting another one. What would prevent somebody from, if we revoke their CO, from getting it? A building issue that wasn't in compliance?
Building issue that wasn't compliant, if they had, it would depend on what it was shut down for. Like, the first one we did had fire codes and everything else, building stuff, fire code, everything. So it took them several months to get
Compliant.
compliant.
And then they just got it right back after they come to compliance.
And we made sure that they paid their A&P taxes, that was part of it too. This other one was a different deal. He came back, he told us that he was not gonna do certain things that he was doing, and it was just gonna be this, and he was CO for lounge. There was nothing wrong with the building or anything, so he was allowed to be the CO.
Any other discussion? If not, I'd instruct the city attorney to read the ordinance in its first reading in title form.
An ordinance to authorize the suspension or revocation of certificates of occupancy for properties declared public nuisances, to establish procedures for enforcement and for the other purposes.
Ordinance has been read on its first reading. What would be the desire to have it read on its second reading tonight?
Second reading.
Abbreviated form.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Director Jewell,
Yes.
Director Smith,
Yes.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Director Hollibush,
Yes.
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
An ordinance to authorize the suspension or revocation of certificates of occupancy for properties declared public nuisances, to establish procedures for enforcement and for other purposes.
Ordinance has been read on its second reading. Desire to have it read on its third and final reading.
Third and final.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Director Jewell,
Yes.
Director Smith,
Yes.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Director Hollibush,
Yes.
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
An ordinance to authorize the suspension or revocation of certificates of occupancy for properties declared public nuisances, to establish procedures for enforcement and for other purposes.
Ordinance has been read on its third and final reading. A motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second to adopt. Prior to the board voting to adopt this particular ordinance, is there anyone here wishing to speak for or against? Yes.
Hey, I'm sorry, I just want to make sure that, so when you vote yes, you're saying that the city manager can recommend that they pull the certificate, the occupancy, and then when they go to review it, the city manager will also be the person that reviews it, but then they can go back through and get their occupancy back. It feels like a money grab. I mean, like, am I misunderstanding the procedure?
There's no money involved.
Well, I mean, they would have to reapply, right?
It's
So, like,
$40, $30, I'm sorry. There's conditions that, that trigger the revocation, criminal conditions.
So
I-
a judge would have already declared that they're a nuisance, and then the judge would come and talk to you, because it seems like when somebody's declared a nuisance by a judge, they have to go through the process, and then if they don't go through the process, then it's up to the chief of police to do anything necessary to abate it, and that would be where they would recommend for this full circuit. Is that what would have happened? Is that what happens now?
There is one condition that the judge would rule on, and that is if declared a nuisance by Texarkana Municipal Court, or the premises have been subject to 2 or more verified nuisance-related incidents, whether that's an arrest, public disturbance, criminal citations within a 24-hour period. If that happens within a 24-hour period, the building official can revoke the certificate of occupancy.
Before the, I mean, they have to go see a judge, right?
No.
Because if that's happening in
No.
24 hours, so they can just come in and shut it down right then, and then they go and talk to a judge. And the only person that can review it is the person that suggested that they get shut down in the first place. Correct?
No. There is a, if the owner wants to appeal it, they've got a right to request a hearing before the city manager by submitting a letter of hearing request within 10 business days. City manager is not the one that revokes the certificate of occupancy.
But they recommend
The-
it.
No.
Under the new ordinance is what you're saying. Somebody could recommend it, including the city manager. That's what y'all said earlier.
You would have to, you have to read this to understand. There's a series of things that business owner has to go through before anybody here gets involved in that. And that's that 2 or more verified nuisances. We're not just going out yanking people's stuff and letting him decide whether they stay open or not.
I was just worried that like the person that recommends that they get, have their occupancy removed would also be the person that would be reviewing it.
Let
That's the
me
building
clarify
official.
that. They will be notified in writing that they are in violation and that their occupancy permit can be revoked. They have a right within 10 days of that letter to come essentially speak to the city manager, okay? And then they talk, whatever. Sometimes they will establish, hey, here's what I'm going to do different, or here's what the issues are. I can resolve that, okay? Then they can, or he could say, we're going to recommend that the chief building officer revokes your occupancy permit. Then they can file an appeal that comes before the city board. The city board can hear that determination on whether the revocation of the permit will be done. And then he still has the right, or she, to file an appeal with the circuit court of Miller County.
Okay, I'm satisfied. I just want to make sure this didn't sound 100%.
You thought the revoking and the reinstating in the same house.
Yes.
That's what.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
He
I'm
thought
sorry.
you had to say so, and on both sides.
Any other discussion prior to the board voting? Could you call a roll?
Director Jewell,
Yes.
Director Smith,
Yes.
Director Roberts.
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris,
No.
Director Hollibush,
Yes.
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes, and the ordinance is adopted. The staff has asked for an emergency clause. What is the desire of the board?
Motion for emergency clause.
Second.
Let's have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Could you call the roll?
Director Jewell,
Yes.
Director Smith,
Yes.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris,
No.
Director Hollibush,
Yes.
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes, and the emergency clause is attached. Moving into Board of Directors' commentary, is there any board member that wishes to address the board?
And I'm gonna
Yes,
make
sir.
it quick so you can go eat.
All right.
But I know we have got to get something quickly done between planning and zoning and the board concerning downtown. I mean, this is a no-win for anybody. I mean, public safety, main issue, law enforcement officers, businesses losing money. I mean, our entertainment district could truly turn into a disaster instead of a desired place to go if we do not do something quickly. And that's all I want to say about it, but we need to move on this and not push it down the road. We need to have something in place this year.
I totally agree, because this could hurt our economy.
Any other, Director Harris?
Yes, Mayor, I guess I'm gonna read this proclamation. It's State of Arkansas Executive Department proclamation. To all to whom these present come greeting. Whereas Arkansas recognize and appreciate the contribution of local business and industry to the overall strength, character, and well-being of our state. Whereas residents and visitors greatly benefit from the service, product, and accommodation provided by business throughout the natural state, including agriculture, forestry, aerospace, manufacturing, mining, and the technology sector. Whereas our local business and industry provide employment, wages, benefit, and local stability to thousands of employees and their family. Whereas Arkansas citizens continue to benefit from the business sector, charitable act, and support from community project and nonprofit program. Whereas Google is developing a multi-million-dollar data center campus in West Memphis, Arkansas, with initial emphasizing in workforce development, small business engagement, and community investment. And whereas Business and Industrial Appreciation Month provided the opportunity for our state and its citizens to recognize and celebrate local business contribution. Now, therefore, I, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Governor for the state of Arkansas, by virtue and authority vested in me by the laws of the state of Arkansas, hereby proclaim November 25 as Business and Industrial Appreciation Month. In testimony, I have hereunto set my hand and caused this great seal of the state of Arkansas and fixed this 28th day of October in the Lord of our 2025 and signed by Senator Huckabee Sanders, Governor, and Cole Jessamine, Secretary of State. And basically what I was reading is I normally do this each year to make the entire state for business and appreciation month, and I get the governor of Arkansas to do this proclamation, and the words was submitted by me in which they approve of the wording and they don't approve of the wording, and then they get found to say so, the governor office and issue a proclamation, and also it's and they doesn't give out proclamation or list proclamation like they used to in the past. So it's very seldom, and it's kind of hard to get a proclamation. I found out for the governor of the state of Arkansas, and I've been doing this, I think, for about 5 years, and I'm continuing to do this. And so that's why I was just reading that the governor, I haven't got it, but they just sent me a copy of it. I guess I should have got it. It was sent out, I believe, Friday or something. No, yeah, well, no, the 28th day, but I haven't received it. So that's basically why I was reading a proclamation from the governor of Arkansas. Yes.
Anyone else? Yes.
Make a motion.
Town hall meeting Thursday at 5:30, Central Baptist Church for the bond issue for the streets. So everybody come.
Refreshments provided.
I think you're furnishing, aren't you, Terry? 5:30, Central Baptist
Yes.
Church.
And Ward 2, but it's one being done in Ward 2, I guess tomorrow at 4 o'clock at the Senior Citizen on Dudley, and that's basically the city manager is doing that. He just want to have one.
You're not going to participate?
Merrill, we'll be here another 30 minutes if I tell you that I want to have it with the street.
I want to, Cody, go ahead. Man, you need to run for the council.
Can we schedule the workshop while we're here?
That'll be up to Jamie and them to coordinate with everybody's schedule.
I will get with them tomorrow and see how soon.
We'll keep you in the loop, Cody.
I just want to encourage everybody to, we do have a couple more town hall meetings to vote for the current street bond issue. And there will be 3 initiatives on that ballot. I can't stress that enough that we have to vote to retire the current bond, which is the first initiative. We'd encourage everybody to vote for that. If that first vote fails, there will be no money. We will not be able to issue the bonds. Then after that, there's the issue, vote for the issue of the street bond and vote for the issue of the drainage bond. And our early voting starts November the 12th, 13th, 14th, and 17th, right here at the Legion, from 8 to 4:30, and then the election day is November the 18th. So I encourage everybody to attend the town halls and ask all the questions you want. We're in desperate need of trying to pass this bond issue to make a significant difference in our existing infrastructure. Tyler, we have city manager report. Anything you want to add?
No, sir.
All right.
Hey, one last thing, Mayor.
Yes?
Hey, Tyler, I'll give you an update on those limbs. Sir, if you will, get with me afterwards. Thanks, Mayor.
Our next meeting will be Monday, November the 17th. And I just noticed this too, just so you'll know, the first Monday in December is the Christmas parade. We will not meet until that Tuesday, the 2nd. We don't meet on the Christmas parade night. So having said that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Let's have a motion and a second. Could you call the roll, please?
Director Jewell,
Yes.
Director Smith,
Yes.
Director Robert,
Yes.
Assistant Mayor Harris,
Yes.
Director Hollibush,
Yes.
Director Brewer,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes, we're adjourned.